Hello everybody, Alex Stephenson here for another Innistrad Swiss draft for SeemsGoodMagic.com. And we open Sever the Bloodline, which is actually a very good rare. We also have Scab Goliath in this pack, Handwear Watchkeep, Burning Vengeance if I wanted to do something crazy like that. I think I'm going to take the Sever the Bloodline. It's probably one of the best pieces of removal in the format. I don't want to commit and say the best. You know, there might be better. But Sever the Bloodline is an amazing piece of removal. And even if you just splash the black and can't do the flashback on it, exiling a creature and all other creatures with the same name is a pretty big deal. So we'll take Sever to open her up. What do we follow it up with? Well, no black pick that we can see besides the patrol, and I'm not counting that. Blue-black looks like what I usually do, and Murder of Crows is just an amazing finishing creature. So it appears that the rare was picked out of this pack. Yeah, okay. Well, then we're given a gift. Murder of Crows is amazing, so I'm happy to pick that, and it goes just fine alongside Sever the Bloodline. Even if I end up doing blue something else, yeah, Sever is still fine. So now what? Well, blue-black is the kind of deck that does the self-mill and brings out Stitch Drakes and Scab Goliaths and stuff, so I suppose that Range Assistant would be good for getting stuff in my graveyard. Tribute to Hunger is a piece of removal, but I'm not super excited about that one. And I think Deranged Assistant is just going to be overall better for blue-black. Pretty sure. Ramping us, getting us earlier Murder of Crows and earlier Sever the Bloodline, and filling up our graveyard with flashback and stuff. Yeah, I think we're fine with picking the Deranged Assistant here. He's very good. Okay. Well, let's fill our graveyard more, I guess. Okay. Let's do Armored Scab. You know, we can still actually easily move into red with these picks. All of these picks are awesome with blue-red strategy. So, yeah, Armored Scab it is. Over the Diregraph Ghoul, and I guess that's the only pick we really care about in this pack for the colors we already have. Okay, well, starting off good. Makeshift Mauler is right in line with what we want to do with these three guys. So, Makeshift Mauler it is. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Corpse Lunge, it's already kind of like a mediocre card. Definitely doesn't work well with if you're trying to, get a bunch of Makeshift Maulers and Stitch Drakes. However, it works just fine, I guess. If you get enough of the self-mill, Corpse Lunge will work. Do I like it more than a crab? I mean, it is removal. It's just lackluster removal. I mean, Pike is interesting. I only have one sorcery right now, so it's not looking great. Yeah, I guess I'll take Corpse Lunge. Not excited about that. Ooh, Unburial Rites, on the other hand, is pretty good. Victim of Night is a solid piece of removal. I'm not doing white, but I could end up getting a Shimmering Grotto, which would make this Unburial Rites extremely powerful. I mean, we already have really two awesome targets for it, and when you're self-milling, Unburial Rites is just phenomenal. I think it's worth it. I think Unburial Rites is strong enough where I want to pick it here over the Victim of Night. I'd really like to get this Occultist, too. I'm growing more and more fond of this card as I play more Innistrad, but Unburial Rites is very, very strong. Even though it pulls creatures out of your graveyard, so you can't do your Makeshift Mauler, at the same time, it pulls your Makeshift Mauler out of the graveyard and puts it in play, so it's pretty good. Frightful Delusion. I think I'd rather just hate out a Doom Traveler, which is actually just, I think, an amazing card in this format. I'm not likely to... I'm certainly not likely to main deck Frightful Delusion. I'm, more likely to sideboard it, but even then, I don't think I've ever actually had it, have a super huge impact on the game, so I'm just going to hate away a Doom Traveler just because that card is severely annoying and very, very good. None of these black picks are super interesting, so just in the interest of possibilities, I'm going to pick the Burning Vengeance just in case I can make something like that happen if I get some flashback spells. If not, then I pass, a couple spells that I don't really care about too much, so not a huge deal. We'll pick the Patrol now. Guess we can get a Walking Corpse. That's perfectly fine. None of these are very good, so we'll take the Creature. Guess we'll get a second Stromkirk Patrol. Okay. So far, we're looking alright. Got a nice piece of removal. Got a nice finisher. Good value. Couple ways to get stuff in our graveyard, so we're on a pretty good track here. Things could definitely get better. Okay, well, we opened Gavany Township, which is an insane card, but there is no possible way that we can make that work. So we have to decide what we want to do instead. I'm pretty sure it's just the Grasp over the Claustrophobia, because we're doing self-mill, so we could get it in the graveyard and still get value out of it, and just on its own, it's so good. So strong, sets them back, time walks their face, that sort of thing. So Grasp is easily first pickable. Okay. I think we just take the Forbidden Alchemy. We're doing blue-black already, so that's good. Otherwise it would be like a Screeching Bat, which is fine, but also I guess Think Twice too I didn't consider because of the Burning Vengeance. But I mean, this deck is screaming for a Shimmering Grotto or two because of the flashback and the Burning Vengeance. But I guess not the Burning Vengeance yet, because I don't even have any flashback spells besides. I guess I do have a couple. I mean, I do have some flashback spells, but they're all like super expensive flashback spells. So Forbidden Alchemy, I think, is just the pick. I think it's powerful enough over Think Twice where I would like to do that instead. Especially since I'd like to pick up some more Makeshift Mauler type creatures. Okay. Take a second Armored Scab. How many? Well, Burning Vengeance tabled before, so I mean, there's probably a pretty good chance it tables again. And let me just count exactly how many flashback spells I have. Grasp, Sever, 4. I mean, that's not a ton. Certainly not enough to justify a couple Burning Vengeances yet. Armored Scab, I guess, is the pick. I've already. This is going to put me at a pretty safe position for how many self-mill cards I'm going to have. So any Stitch guy I see, I can pretty much take safely without any fear, in my opinion. Warcraft Banshee is going to be just fine and very good, actually, with Unburial Rites. So Warcraft Banshee it is. Much better 5-drop than Stromkirk Patrol. Okay. Does this look like a Lost in the Mist deck? No, I've already got so many 5-drops. It's really not looking like that. So I suppose we just take the One-Eyed Scarecrow, which will be a sideboard tool that we will have access to. I would like to not have to main deck that, but we're not getting a ton of picks either way for us. I think I take the Nightbird's Clutches, not because it's necessarily good with us, but because it's got flashback, and if I table that Burning Vengeance, then there's a chance that it could be played. I could try some sort of Burning Vengeance thing, which I haven't gotten a chance to do yet. So a second Forbidden or Occultist, and I think I'd prefer to do the Occultist, I think. just because I already have an alchemy, but I guess it's not like there's anything wrong with having multiple alchemies. And it does have the flashback for the Burning Vengeance, but do I like that pick over the Cultist? I mean, these guys are going to be doing essentially the same thing a Cultist does, so perhaps Forbidden Alchemy is a little bit better. Unfortunately, we saw zero stitched guys this pack, which kind of sucks. But I think that's okay. We're going to take Demon Male Halberg here, just because it works with our Banshee, and it turns our Scabs into really good creatures. 5/6s? Yeah, 5/6 beaters, which is totally legit. Makes our Deranged Assistant decent too. Walking Corpse, pretty much all of our creatures so far, because we only have the Makeshift Mauler and a couple. We've got some high-end stuff, but I'm really looking for some more low-end stuff, so I'll take the Halberg there. How many humans do we even have? Oh, well, I guess it works with our opponents too, so maybe that card's a little bit. I think we're just gonna take it. Sideboard at the very least. Altar's Reap. Does that look good here? Looks okay. Armored Scab is something that comes in, can block for a turn, and maybe we don't feel bad about sacrificing. I suppose Altar's Reap is okay. I don't really like Skeletal Grimace too much, so I mean, Lumber Knot is only a specific type of deck that really cares about that anyway. So actually, maybe I can take the Skeletal Grimace for sideboard purposes. I don't need a second Demon Male Halberg, so I'll take the Village Ironsmith. Lost in the Mist is better than Frightful Delusion, in my opinion. Parasaline, don't really care about that. Alright, well, unfortunately, not a ton of Stitch guys in that last pack. We have plenty of cards to fill our graveyard, though. And we did not table that Burning Vengeance, so I think that plan is pretty much, we're done with that. And we gotta get some super good picks out of this pack. Okay, well, we open an amazing pack. Would very much like to first pick this Isolated Chapel because of the Unburial Rites. Unfortunately, we have other much better picks to choose from. Wait, that's not unfortunate. Let me take that back. It's not unfortunate that we have other good picks to choose from. It's just unfortunate that this wasn't in a pack that had less choices. Plenty of good packs in here, or picks in here. We've got the Rig, we've got the Banshee, and the Drake. I'm tempted to pick the Drake just because it's so likely that we're going to be able to play that when we want to, just because the sheer amount of self-mill we have going on already. Another Morkra Banshee would be great, and the Geist Catcher's Rig is actually really good too, especially with Unburial Rites. I'm actually kind of tempted to pick the Geist Catcher's Rig just because of how good it works with Unburial Rites, and it's a form of removal. Not to mention the fact that it kills our Stitch Drake, but Stitch Drake has the advantage of being something that can kill very early and put a lot of pressure on early, so I am going to take it. Over the Rig, I know. I'm a little disappointed I had to do that too, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So, Tribute to Hunger is not looking super amazing. I think Moon Heron is just, we need more ways to kill our opponent quickly, and Moon Heron will have a good turn progression with the Stitch Drake, but I mean, we don't have a ton of ways, I guess, to get Stitch Drake on turn 3. It's more like turn 4, but he's still fine on turn 4. So, Moon Heron it is. Get a flyer. Okay. Plenty of good picks here, too. Silent Departure or Victim of Night. Also have Think Twice, Screeching Bat. All of those are good. It's not going to be the Think Twice because we can easily get value out of one of these other spells. It's really, do I like Silent Departure or Victim of Night more? I feel like it's actually Silent Departure only because I have so much self-mill, so there's a good chance that it's going to end up in my graveyard and I can still get value out of it. Victim of Night is a very strong card against the green-white deck, though, and a card that I initially was unimpressed with, but have become more and more impressed with as time goes on. I don't know, though. I'm really feeling this Silent Departure. I feel like this isn't that great against us anyway. I mean, it's got targets. I'm going to take the Departure there. That was a little tough for me, especially since I followed up with another Departure, but I don't have a huge problem with that. Other options are the Traveler's Amulet to help for the Unburial Rites, but there's just no way I can do that over another Silent Departure. This just buys time to the more beef in the deck. Here we're absolutely just going to take another Moon Heron, get some more evasive threats online for our deck, which is very good. I suppose this looks like it could be a sensory deprivation deck. We have the evasive guys, so we don't have to worry about their ground troops if they're sensory deprived, and they still won't get like to chump block or anything, so okay, sensory deprivation. Here I think I'm just going to pick up an Interloper. We've already got, there's a chance that we curve out into some really, well, not amazing, but we've got enough evasive guys where I feel comfortable picking the Interloper and ways to keep them off their flyers. So it's not like there's a ton of other options for us anyway. I mean, Pitchfork works with our Deranged Assistant, and that's like it. So I mean, as far as the bonus goes, but I'll take Interloper. A lot of people aren't super impressed with him, but I think I'm actually more impressed with him than other people are. Whether or not that's a good thing, I guess that's remained to be seen. This definitely looks like an Inquisitor's Flail deck. We have enough flyers now where if any of these have the flail and they have a clear shot, getting in that much damage is just insane. Especially with if you get a Halberg equipped too. Yeah, that would be dirty. Okay, wow. Did we table a Banshee? That was a really deep pack, so easily can play this Banshee over one of our Stromkirk Patrols. We might, I think we're probably just cutting both the Stromkirk Patrols. Just not an enormous fan of that card. Let's just hide our red now. We're just totally not doing this Burning Vengeance plan at all. We don't need to main deck that. Corpse Lunge actually looks a lot better in this deck. Just because we only have like 2 guys that require creatures in our graveyard. Suppose we can take a second One-Eyed Scarecrow in case we need it. Do we even have any curses? Not that it really matters. Bitterheart's not that great either way. This is actually a legitimate trick I'm learning, so we can pick that. I'm not going to main deck it, but I think it's totally legit as a sideboard. We'll take Ghoul Razor. We have enough zombies and enough fill graveyard effects where we can get some value out of that. I suppose we'll take the curse. Okay, well, we ended up with decent deck. Not quite as good as could have been, but we have some good cards. So I'll see what I can make out of this. Okay, so I built this. Cards that I decided not to main deck are the Sensory Deprivation, Lost in the Mist, the Scarecrows. All of these cards have some, I would say, good to very good sideboard application. One-Eyed Scarecrow especially. This card basically just completely neuters a Mausoleum Guard. So that's pretty cool. Not doing the Altar's Reap. We've only got 13 creatures, which isn't a ton, but once again, we've got so much self-mill in the double Forbidden, Deranged Assistant, double Armored Scab. I mean, this is a deck that doesn't want to play against mill, that's for sure. But we're not doing the Stromkirk Patrols either. We've got the double Morkrut Banshee, which is actually very good. How many ways do we have to make Morbid? Not so many. However, it's still good, especially with Unburial Rites, like I was saying. I'm splashing 2 planes only for the flashback of Unburial Rites. Do I think that's a big deal? Possibly. If I'd had a Shimmering Grotto, I strongly would have considered this Burning Vengeance, just because we actually do, I think, have enough flashback spells to make that pretty good. 7 or something around there. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. That's pretty good. But I think I'd rather just have flashback available for Unburial Rites. If I dig that away as well as like a Banshee, that can be really sick. Um, so the only reason I'm doing 2 planes is in case I mill away my one of them. I still have a way to get the other one. But if I don't get either of them, it's not a huge deal because I can still hard cast an Unburial Rites. It loses a little bit of value there, obviously, but still okay. The curve on this deck, I mean, it doesn't really get going until like turn 3, but we have enough removal to really get us there, I think. So, yeah, this deck looks alright. I really actually think Inquisitor's Flail is pretty important in this deck just because cards like Interloper and Stitch Drake and Moon Herons just gain infinite more value with that, just getting in and putting them on such a fast clock and putting so much pressure on them, and we have enough removal to, like, make sure that we can get those nice evasive hits in. So I'm interested to see how this deck does, and I will see you round 1.